Hi, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp workshop. I have wanted to get this video up all day, and I had technology issues. You gotta love technology, right? When it works, it's fabulous, and when it doesn't work, it is a pain. So this is going up. I'm probably going to get it up on Friday instead of Thursday. So some of the stuff I'm going to use, most of the stuff I'm going to use is coming out of this annual catalog. And this starts May 4th. So you're good for most of it. I posted a video, which would be yesterday. It's today, but in YouTube world, it was posted on Thursday that has all of the last chance items that I went through and I thought were super good deals. Like lots of them are $2, $3, $4, or $5 in their price range. So that video's up. And then this paper that I'm going to use on this project today is the last day that you can get it, because it was part of the Butterfly Brilliance promotion, and that ends on the last day of April. But it works so well with this new stamp set that I wanted to show you. So everything on the card is new except for this paper. If you want it, you'll have to get it today. Otherwise, in the future, you'll have to come up with something else to kind of make it look the same, which you'll be able to. So I'm using a bunch of new products on this. I'm using the bundle, I think it's called sheltering something. Once the catalog goes live next week, I'll do a day where I go back and I tell you all of the names of everything with all the cards, and I'll probably be live on both YouTube and Facebook. But it comes with this fabulous set of trees, and then you're going to see the other pieces in a second, except for these two. I'm not using these two. This is a little landscape, especially if you want to do snow, and then this cuts out a moon or a sun if you want to add that. Today's cards didn't need it. So the dies are all tree based, and then the stamps that come with it are all just great sayings. So it has Christmas, it has sympathy, it has congratulations, it has wedding. So it kind of covers everything. It's a great stamp set. So I'm using that. And then I'm going to use the tailored tags, which I just used on a project that posted a couple of days ago. So I've used so many of them now that there's hardly any of them left on the little sticky, but they're about ready to go on my magnet board. And I am getting ready to do a video on some storage ideas that I have for you, because it's the best time to do it in between catalogs because I have a little bit more space. And then I'm going to use this fun bark 3D embossing folder. Now you might think the bark came with this tree set. It actually is part of the suite from the Beauty of Friendship, the other trees. So there's two fabulous tree sets. So we're going to do this. I'm making 2 cards because I really want to sell you on this paper, because if you're going to buy this later, you're going to need this paper, but you can go over and get a bunch of the clearance things and you'll be good. So I'm going to make 2 cards at once. A couple of pieces I've already gone ahead and done ahead of time. So for the tags, since we're doing 2 tags, one is this is the natural specialty paper, and on it I'm going to use this. I haven't put my stickers on, and I'm going to use StazOn. You can stamp on this. It just takes a while to dry, and StazOn, it has like a coating on it, works a little bit better. So this is the saddle brown StazOn. I'm going to put this on here, and then I'm going to set this aside so it can dry. So this says, thinking of you on your special day. So that's for one card. And then the other card, I'm going to use the black StazOn. Put these back where they go. And window sheet. Because I wanted this card to be super simple, and I wanted you to be able to see the trees. And so whenever I want stuff to be seen, I always go with the window sheet tag. It's my favorite thing. When I remember when you stamp, that StazOn is slippery. So get this inked up. And then press hard, and it sticks to this usually. Oh, it didn't even stick to it. And then we'll just set that aside to dry. Got those. Both of those need, it's probably dry on the brown because StazOn is flash drying, but it's very muggy in Indiana today, so it's going to take it a second longer to dry than normal. Okay, so let's do the bark first. Both of my cards are going to be very similar, so I'm going to use vanilla cardstock as my base, and I have way too many pieces here. Let's fold this in half. And then our second one, sometimes it's easy to do 2 at once. And I actually had this, I've just been so busy, and I have still got videos going up almost every day this week. I really kind of wanted to do a series on this set, because when you see it, you're going to be like, oh, Christmas, autumn. I mean, it's trees. So think of all the things that you can do. So I'm going to take this. The thing that I love about this bigger size folder is you can go whatever way. So I really want my bark to go tree ways, and my cards are going to be horizontal because that's the direction of this, but you can put your paper in the other way. This is cut a little bit shorter than 5.5, so you can see that you could get a 5.5 sheet. You could get a 6x6 sheet in there if you wanted to. So let's roll these through, and yes, you can do 2 at once. Ask me how I know, because when I cut all the paper for the classes that you guys do, you can do like 4 at once on some of them. Because the more I can run through at one time, the faster it is for me to get all of your packets ready. And when the Try It class comes, there's so much paper. You'll want to do the Try It class if you haven't signed up yet. But see, they're both fine. You can't tell any difference between one and the other. So if you've ever gotten one that was the bottom one or the 4th one, you never knew. But the Try It class will have, I know it's going to have the tags. I'm a little bit undecided yet on what dies I'm going to have. And it has 12 projects, all of the papers. I'm going to move this out of the way so it doesn't get smeared. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here, and then this goes right along the bottom. This was a sheet that I happened to have left. Exact right size for these trees. I've already cut the other one out. So they roll through super well. And then I would like for them to stay in there, but every time I think they've popped out. Yep, they popped out again. Because if they'd stay in, you could roll your little brush over them, because this paper is a little bit delicate, and then with all these leaves. But I do want to show you something. If you saw the other video, it's like a 2-minute video that I posted earlier this week, because I got a new office thing, and it's my favorite. And after I use this, it's even more my favorite. So you can see they're popping out, but the paper's just really, really delicate. So you just have to be careful. If they stay in the die, then it would be best to just roll your brush over them. But since these didn't, we'll pull them out. Okay, so then my favorite thing that I bought, you know how these things end up everywhere, and they've ended up all over my table since the beginning of time. I bought this tiny little desk vacuum, and I did a little video on it. It has the link. I'll put the link in this blog post as well, because look, you just go on here and you just pick these things up, and they're not on my table. They are not on the floor, which is where a lot of my stuff ends up, because I'm so busy that I'm like, just brush this on the floor and I'll sweep later. Because I have a pretty trash can that my husband hates, because it's pretty in gold, but it has holes on the side. So a lot of this stuff falls out when I throw it in the trash anyways. But look, is that not thebomb.com? Okay, my other things should be dry now. So let's do our tags. So we'll do this one is thinking of your special day. And then we have these little tag toppers that are part of the tag set. And I'm trying to see where I moved that thing out of the way so we wouldn't get it dirty. Here it is. And here's the window sheet one. And I'm just going to run it through with the backing paper. Sometimes I leave it on the back because I kind of like the way it looks. So we'll just see how we like it this time. And stick that on there. And I want it all the way to the end so I have room for that little hole reinforcer. Run these through. And that creaking noise is the window sheet. It just makes noises when it cuts. So we have a tag. It cuts 4, this one does 3 reinforcers for the hole. And then we have another tag. Now, from my other card, I'm going to do a sympathy card and then kind of a wedding, shower, Mother's Day, whatever card, because it just is thinking of your special day. So these are the leaves that come with it. And this is the new shimmer vellum paper that is absolutely beautiful. So I picked the colors of spring. We'll send these through. Now the way these leaves work is, well, for one, they're beautiful when they pop out, but you need 2 or 3. You could probably even do 4 on one tree if you wanted to, because you group together the leaves. So let me show you. They pop out like this. So super easy. And then you can see I need my little vacuum again. But see these here? Most of them don't pop out. Like these holes popped out. These give you a fun 3D. So your leaves stick partially out, but they stay attached. Isn't that fun? So I will put close-up pictures on my website so you'll be able to see it. So I've already run these through while I was having technology issues and trying to get my technology to cooperate. I went ahead and just pre-cut these. So I've got 3 of each color, and I just did random sizes. The first time I did it, I realized the sizes didn't really matter because I wasn't sure how many you needed. So I just kept running them through. So got those, and then I'll be able to use my little vacuum to clean that up in a second. So now let's put these together. Let's do the simple card first. So we'll take our trees, and then you're gonna need some glue dots or some liquid glue, the fine tip glue, because you can see there's not a whole lot on here to adhere. So I'll show you a little trick. I did 2, and this paper's so lightweight that it really holds pretty well on there. So stick that on here, and then stick this down here. Make sure you get those. I like that it has some lift to it, and then once you have this on here, then stick a glue dot down at the bottom. Because you don't want to stick all the glue dots on at once, because if part of it grabs and the other part's not, it might tear. If you're doing cardstock, you'll be able to. And then let's just get glue dots here. I would like glue dots that are like half this size, because I'm always folding them over. Because they tend to be my go-to on stuff like this where it's just too little to have the adhesive on it. And I didn't want the sticker sheet. We have adhesive sheet, but I like the way this pulls up, and I wanted that to stay. And I'm just gonna take this. This one ended up just perfect. And just snip that one off. So then we're just gonna take our card. This one's super simple, but very stunning. Isn't that already pretty? I told you you're gonna need this paper. People are gonna watch this video past the day that I post it and be like, where do I get the paper? But we've had it for a while, so if you haven't fallen in love with it yet, then hopefully this is the last thing to push you over the edge. Okay, now for this one, we're gonna take the tag. And see what I mean about leaving the backing on? Sometimes I like that. So for this one, I think I will. And because it has the stitch thing, it's gonna be stuck to it pretty good. And then once I tie the ribbon on, we'll be good. And I'm gonna take one of my little hole reinforcers. Let's stick this on here. You have to kind of faux it because I don't want to cover my S up all the way, but the ribbon will go through. Because I'm going to use the twine. This is new. It's a little essentials pack, and it has perfect colors for these cards, but we just need a tiny little bit. And I just did this on the other tag that I did. And this will hold that second piece of backing on. And here's the thing with the backing, it only comes on one sheet of window sheet. So half your tags wouldn't be able to have it anyways. And this will hold it on. Oops, maybe. So now it's attached. Try not to touch the words in case they're still wet. But see, I like that white. It just lightens it up. It's tissue paper, so it's ever so slight. And then you have to be careful with your adhesive on it too, because you can tear that tissue. It's not wet. It's so muggy here. It's one of those days where it goes, where it's super hot and then it's super chill, and I open the window, shut the window, take off my slippers, put on a sweatshirt. So here's the first one. Isn't that lovely? And you can do it with other pieces of paper. I just think this paper is so soft and it looks really pretty this way. So now let's do our other one. Same thing, we'll stick these glue dots on. I'll do them on the trees first. If you're doing cardstock, it's a little bit easier. This just kind of, because it's much more paperweight. It's a little bit thinner than designer series paper. So I don't want it to grab and then me not be able to pull it up, because I want to make sure all my trees are on the card. So there we go. Stick this here. And here. And then let's turn these off. We're gonna still need our glue dots. Now we have all of these fun little leaves. So you need to start with the tree, but you wanna be in the back, which I did not do the first time because I really didn't want my green to be in the back. So this time I'm gonna start and put my green on the back. I am gonna add just a tiny bit of adhesive randomly on the trees because it will mostly get covered up. You don't want too much, but this will help adhere the glue dots. And I just put one glue dot on all of them, except for there's one that's a little bit bigger. On it, I put two. But again, I like the lift that it gives it. And I didn't press very hard until I had them all laying on. It's kind of like doing your own little artistic puzzle. And I'm just putting these on here and touching the glue dot to it. So there we have a green tree, and that one looks good. And then let's do a pink tree. I might change this one a little bit from the way I did my other one. Because you know, when you do 2 cards in a row, you can do that. So you see, you just kind of fill it in, which will be fun in the fall, especially when you want to do different layers of color. Stick that there. And then on my other one, I had the fresh freesia here, but I'm going to switch it and do the purple here. Or I'm sorry, the pale papaya I had here. So I'm going to switch it this way. Because the papaya is really a similar color to our trunks, and I feel like it kind of got lost. And now you see why this one's going over the top of the other one. It's just a little, you're building a little forest, super fun. This will be pretty with the new paper that's in the other suite too, that has all the leaf colors on it. Got that one. One more. And I love the way that this, because it's the vellum, it stays lifted up like this. Once you put it in an envelope, it will kind of flatten down a tiny bit. But it does have that nice lift to it. Wait till you see my other one. It's been sitting here all day. Because when the first one I made, I kind of smashed it all down. Like that, because I thought that they would go flat, but they didn't go flat. You could put more glue dots on them if you wanted. And again, you wouldn't want to use the adhesive because you do want the leaves that are on the inside, which when I get a close-up picture, I'll hold it a little close to the camera. I know it's going to be hard to see. But because they're die-cut leaves that are popping up. See how it has those little leaves in there? We're almost finished with this one. So let's stick this on here. This is cut a little bit smaller than a quarter sheet, just so it's easier to mount on, I think. Even when you want to do a false front, most of the time I do it a tad bit shorter. So here's this tag. I'm not going to put any ribbon on this. I'm just gonna put it here. And then I'm gonna use our new loose flower flourishes. You'll get that a card with using these if you do the Try It class. And I think that I'm probably gonna use them in the pansy class too. It's kind of hard, like my cards are in process of being designed for the pansy class, but because I want some new stuff to come in when I order next week, they're kind of in flux. Like the cards are designed but not finished. And if you do the pansy class, we're gonna do one where we use the dies, where we use the stamps, and where we use the paper, and then I've got 4 or 5 other ideas, so I'm trying to decide which of those makes your 4th card. So here's this one. I did not do 2 of this because I was in the process of doing it. So I have another really pretty tag. Actually, this tag is a little bit prettier than that one because when I wasn't talking, I stamped better. So here's this one. But then I knew that I would be able to easily just stick that together. So I had this card designed, I took that off and then added those. So there's that. Remember, this paper is natural specialty paper, only available through the end of April, unless it ever comes back in the clearance corner, but wouldn't hold my breath because you just never know with that. So I have the last chance video up that has all of the deals, and then from here on out we're going to just be new catalog stuff. So join me on catalog kickoff day when I have some specials for you, and make sure you're on my email list so you can get all of the special deals that I have. Everybody have a great night. Bye.